Hello everybody and welcome back to the X4 Beginner's Guide series, and as you can see we are completely leaving off where we were last time, and today we're going to be looking at expanding our mining operation, because in the next episode we're going to start looking at station building and some of the things that we want to do for stations. To be able to do that, we obviously need a good cash flow and we need some rep as well, so we're going to be working on the two things together at the same time, so we can kind of get access to some of the things that we may want in the future. Now, if you're just wanting Argon stuff, then you only need to really worry about the Argon sectors for this. However, there is the opportunity to get other faction stuff as well, which will make more sense in the next episode when I show you where to purchase the blueprints for the stations. So let's have a gander at what we want to do next. Now, I've flown over to the shipyard so that we can have access to the shipyard here, and we can have a look at what we've got to buy some ships. Now, these are expensive ships. Some of the ones we can't do because we need the Federation Capital ship license. However, some of them we can have available. Now, we've got the bigger miners here and here. It's a freighter, sorry. Now, some of these will be from the mod. Some of these you will have available. So if you have some missing, it'll just be down to the... Oh, that is a miner, sorry. I don't know why it says freighter. We've got options here anyway. Now, I'm not a huge fan of these miners at all. However, the bigger, the more expensive, and they carry more components, more storage. So obviously we've got the option of earning more credits, and also we've got the option of carrying bigger crews, which is more likely to have a higher crew star rating, so we can start doing our sector auto mining. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So we're going to try and do one today, and hopefully we can get one out there. So let's get a low preset. So it's 2.1 million for the low preset. So we should easily manage to get stuff here. Now let's have a look at what we can do. These, as you can see, all the bars are white here. They're all full. So that means they've all got access to filled area. So whatever slots they have, they're filled. Both slots are filled there. Turret groups, we do have a couple of turret groups available to us. You can see it's only carrying one shield for that turret group, where we can carry two. I'm not too worried about the turret groups. They'll do what they need to do. These carry... Well, first of all, we need to change our docking computer. I'm not too worried about this stuff, so I'm going to drop... Now, this is an object scanner, so you can increase it with the police scanner. So actually, we've got enough credits. Let's increase it with the object scanner, the police scanner there. We might have a bit of a better search for our ores, hopefully. Might make it a little bit quicker. Our consumables. Now, we can have a cargo drone, which helps it unload at our stations that we want, and we've got our mining drones that help us mine. I'm going to boost these up to 5 apiece. We don't want to worry about repairing defense drones, because hopefully it won't come under attack in the sector we're in. That's our consumables. I'm not worried about things like this. We can drop a few resource probes in there if we want to, in case we expand it into a different area, but that's just an optional extra if you want to. The main one for us is crew. We can leave our 2 marine crew in there. It's not going to do any harm for us, and it also means that we'll have 2 marines leveling up. So if you do want to do some shipboarding stuff, then we know we've got marines on there, and it also prevents other people from taking over your ship. So just leave the 2 in there. But I've maximized my crew, which is expensive, so we're at 2.7 million. But we've got one, and they're at 44 crew. I'm going to add to the shop. Before I do that, I'm going to change the name. So this is Large Miner Mark 1. We're going to add it to the... We're then going to add 3. That's all of our credits that we've got at the moment, leaving us with 2.6 million left. We're going to confirm that order. Now, the larger ships obviously take more components. They take longer to build. So the likelihood is you're going to be waiting a moment for this to happen. We can have a check of how we're doing. 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes. So one of them's in a queue, and we'll still take 8 minutes once the queue begins. The other 2 are at 7 minutes 40. So as you can see, they do take a little bit longer than our smaller ships. Obviously, they're bigger. So you can continue doing what you're currently doing, which is our sector auto mining. or we can start thinking about, you know, what we want our actual miners to be doing. Now let's have a look and see and make sure we've got everything going. So we've got a drill miner here that's docked. And you're actually just docking, yeah, you're docking to supply, that's fine. Dock and wait, the Elite Vanguard. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to send my Elite Vanguard out to scout. Now we've got a jump gate here, so we're going to send him in there to explore the jump gate. And we're just going to leave him now. And what we want to do is we want to start thinking about your docking away in there. Oh, that's our, yeah, that's our trade ship. So we'll hang on fire with that for the moment. What I want to do is buy some more ships. So we're going to get some small ships. We're going to get some scout ships. Kind of like the Discoverer scout ship. It does look pretty cool. Obviously got our engine options, so I'm going to select it with a low preset again. And I'm not too worried about docking because I'm going to kind of keep these out. These are going to be our throwaway ships. It's a pretty decent setup anyway. I'm not worried about the crew because these are going to be our scout ships. I'm going to add it as it is, and I'm going to get 4 of them. I'm going to confirm order. Hopefully that will also increase our economy in the area, so there's going to be more supply and demand for our stations, which means that we're really helping ourselves out here. It's generally a good idea to kind of stick to an area you want to work at. I tend to stick in the Argon area because that's just where you start, but I do kind of migrate around as I get bigger, and I'll start taking over systems myself. Now, I don't take over ownership, I just tend to build stations and pay the tax. You can take over the systems, which will show when we do our station production, but I kind of like having the NPCs there and you know, having their own sectors. I will take over sectors when they become neutral, and we'll be pushing for some sectors of our own at some stage as well, building our own little empire, which is what we're leading on to in this guide. Now, we've got our scout ships being done in 1 minute, and our large miners done in 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead to when we've got our 2 large miners, so I can show you what I'm going to do next. And welcome back everybody, and as you can see we've got just a minute left on our 2 large miners. There's a couple of things I just want to check up on with yourselves, just to kind of point out that I haven't already covered in the game. If you're ever struggling to figure out what all these icons mean here, obviously these are generally stations, as you can see there. But if you do want to know what they are, and you either forget or you don't know them, there's a little thing here. It's like a little dot thing, and I know that's kind of what you would expect to drop a pin. But this is our legend, and if you click on the legend here, it gives us our legend of stuff. So it'll tell you everything, including what these little hexagon sectors are here. So obviously we know this is a mineral region, so there's only going to be minerals here. And this is useful for us when we're going to mine stuff. So we know this is mineral and gas. So this is quite good to build in the sector for expansion. So when we start looking at our gas miners that we've got here, you know, we've got our mineral miners that we want to put in here. There is a couple of spots of just mineral regions, and obviously we just have our just gas regions, which I think we got one just there. Yep, just on the outskirts there. So that one's gas, then it's mixture, and then there's just minerals in the center. So things like this you can use to your advantage. Obviously it tells you what everything else is. So you got the jump gate connections, which are the gates, the superhighway, which connects systems, or these sectors should I say. This is a system. And then obviously our local highway, which is just within the same system. Jump gates, accelerators, and superhighway gates. You zoom in, you can see they're all there. Owned, which is green, neutral blue, and enemy red. And then obviously all those stations, factories, free ports, defense stations, trading stations, all them things will help you as you go along. And if you just forget what they are, they'll also tell you what each ship and each ship's size is. So 2 bars underneath is a large ship, 1 bar underneath is medium, no bars is a small. I know you can generally tell with the size of the icons as well, but it's good to know sometimes these little things. So if you do struggle to remember, hit that little legend there and it should tell you. Our 3rd large miner is now being constructed. We've got our current other 2, and we've got our 4 scout ships. Now I'm going to start off my 4 scout ships. First, I'm going to select scout ship number 1, which is DYF663, and I'm going to tell them to, now we've already scouted this sector. I kind of want to know what's in true sight, so I'm going to go click on the jump gate and click explore. And as you can see, it gives a little icon there with that. Now, I have used Explorer in the past, and I've tend to found that it doesn't work. But with 3.0, we're going to give it another shot and see if it does. If I notice it's not working within the next couple of episodes, I'll go through doing some manual side of things. But hopefully, let's hope it will work, and that will set us up with a few things that I want to point out. The next one we're going to send to here, and we're going to tell him to explore the superhighway, which he will do. And the next one here, I'm going to tell to explore the Grand Exchange. And then I'm going to tell the last one to do Grand Exchange 1. That's going to give us more options for trading, for mining and stuff like that, because we're going to be able to see a few things. So that's why we've got the 4 scout ships. We're going to forget about them for now, and hopefully when we come back in the next episode, we'll have some more information from them. But for now, that's them done, dusted, and forgotten about. The next thing I want to do is I want to get my drill miner, my new ones, large miner Mark 1s, and I'm going to check and see how we're looking on our statistics. Okay, so our cruise skill is 1.5 stars, so we're only going to get sector mining out of this. Behavior, sector auto mine. So what I am going to do is I'm going to place him in this system here, fly to. We're going to take our second ship now, and we're going to set it up and see how it's looking. Information, again, low skill. So we've got a couple of choices now. We've just spotted Hastikvar's choice through our miner, through our scout ship. He's on his way to scout. So we can choose to go in there and do sector auto mine there, but we're not really sure what's in there at the moment. We kind of know what's in second contact, so we're going to be using second contact for our first one. And we don't know about True Sight yet, but True Sight's got a lot of facilities there, and it's also got our option of doing a third faction. Obviously, we've got our first faction, our second faction, and our third faction there. I like to, as I say, spread around my stuff and get the faction skills up, the reputation up even, so I can build different style of ships and stuff like that. So I'm going to send my large miner into True Sight. Fly to. And then what we're going to do is going to let them fly over, and then we'll notice within our property owned when they are on fly and wait. That Elite Vanguard is currently on dock and wait, so we'll just right click him, and we can tell him we got him, or is he actually finished? I think he may be. Have a look. Our information, just keeping an eye on things now. Behavior, dock and wait. So it's stuck on dock and wait. Kind of get it off that cycle, because some of them will do that. Just take it out of the system, and there you go. He'll crack on with his orders. So he's now exploring that. We've got our 4 new scout ships exploring 4 new sectors. We've got 2 large miners heading over to the sectors that we've picked. You didn't need to move a miner into the new faction sections. You could have kept them in Argon systems and chosen just to do Argon Prime, which would obviously increase your experience in that area, your reputation in that area, and give you access to buying blueprints at a cheaper price, and obviously buying the bigger ships as well at a later stage when you can buy the licenses. We'll go through all of that when we start touching on space stations and fleets. They're the next 2 things we're going to be covering once we've got this mining up and running. I just want to kind of show you, like, having large miners, our opportunity to get more stuff in new sectors, getting more faction rep, and earning more money. And we'll see the kind of reaps from that reward on our station building, because station building is very expensive, and we need to start thinking about providing our own stations, or whether we supply our stations with either mining ships or traders. So that's our option we've got, and that's what we're going to be looking at. So that's going to be on our next couple of episodes. So let's just hang fire for a moment and skip ahead and have a look at what we've got in our new sectors. And welcome back, everybody. As you can see, our 2 mining ships are sat in their sectors doing little to nothing other than looking out the window. So we're going to start looking at getting them set up. Now this one here is generally quite a quiet area, but as you can see, we've already cleared it earlier on, so we can see straight away what they're going to accept And as you can see, the only ones that they're going to accept is silicon, ice, and ore. We attempted with our gas miner to try and prove a point. We've done that. He's sat there doing absolutely nothing. Don't worry about him. Forget about him in my build, because I'm not concentrating on gas miners. I will be concentrating on gas miners when we get our space station up, and I'll cover it again if need be. If you've got any questions with the gas miners, please ask me. However, the same thing applies for gas as it does for minerals. Exactly the same. You're just picking up a different resource. But we can see silicon, ice, and ore. We can also see that this area has hydrogen, ice, Nevidium, ore, and silicon. So three of the three items we need is in this system. So we can actually abuse that, and we can either have 3 smaller miners or 3 large miners mining all 3 of them. But if we have a look at what they've got, they're quite full on everything. One of them will be ore. We can't see what it is at the moment, and I'll go into showing you how to do that. I did touch on it at an earlier stage, but I will show you how to release all that information when we start building our stations and kind of understanding our own station and other stations as well. But we can see just at a glance, we've absolutely no information that that's about half full of resources. We can do the same for ice. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. We can see that's really full, so we definitely don't want to do ice. And we can see our silicon factory is also quite full. Now we've actually got information on our silicon refinery, so we can see that silicon is completely rammed full. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for ore, and I'm going to move him to this sector here, fly 2. Now because we're going to set our default behavior, we don't need to make any more changes other than sector auto mine. Choose our where, which is ore, and it's already selected the system it's in. Our anchor space is second contact 2 flashpoint. So when he stops moving, he will go around this area here and start picking up ore. Let's confirm that. He's done. Just did. Move on to the next one. This one here, we've only got information on everything down this line. We've still got our scout ship doing our exploring. So he's going to start looking at everything like this. And there's a lot of stuff and a lot of things here. Microchips, scanning array, drones. So we can't really see what's needed in this system. If there is actually anything in this system, at the moment we don't know. Our scout's going around. Now you've got a choice. You can wait for that scout to try and find some stuff for you, or you can attempt to find it yourself by doing the kind of system we did with the gas miner, which is setting it to do something. If it sits around for ages and does nothing, then we know that there's nothing there for it. And again, if it picks up something and it's not selling it, then we know there's no factory for it. So again, we've got another alternative there where we can either decide to transfer it ourselves. He will then return back to our anchor space and mine, and we keep having to keep an eye on him. Or we could move systems. What I'm going to do is I actually know Holy Vision here has got gas. We don't need gas. Minerals, sorry. We do need minerals. Completely lost it though. Gas is the one we definitely don't need. It's got minerals. We do need minerals. So we're going to send him over to the Holy Vision. Absolutely no changes whatsoever. Absolutely no changes whatsoever needed for the system we're doing. We're just going to send him to the next sector because we can see what we need, and hopefully we'll see what factories we have. Refined goods, high tech, refined goods, ice, smart chips, ice, and medical supplies. So we've got 2 ice factories here. Let's have a gander here and see what we've got. They're quite full, and we're getting a large ship here. Logistical overview. Again, quite full. So ice is probably not going to be the best option for us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to see if he will mine minerals. Sector auto mine. Set it to mine ore in Holy Vision. Where are we? Go. Select OK. Holy Vision. That's anchored. Now the reason why I've had to change the anchor space is because he's still in true sight, so the system picks up true sight as being the sector that he's currently at, and will use that as an anchor space. As you just saw there, you click on the system that you want him to be anchored to, click OK, and jobs are good. Now our Discoverer Vanguard is currently scouting the system out. So if there's something that he will find here, we can use that obviously. But there's some stuff that the people are short on, so hopefully we'll find something soon. Holy Vision, that if there is ore that will be sold, that miner will find it himself. We know there's ore there, we don't know if there's anything there. To save time, we sent him into Holy Vision. We may still have the problem where we're going to have ore sat in our resource cargo hold, and we may have to do something about it. If that happens, you've then got the choice of sending him back to a system you know that will take ore, which is TrueSight next door. So you're manually doing that, or you can move the entire system completely and start again. The options are yours. Obviously, if you're selling to the hops, which is this here, then you're obviously getting rep for them, and that's what we want to try and do. So we're going to try and keep in this pink section here and hopefully get some faction. That's just an overview on how to expand your mining resources that you've got. We want to really set ourselves up. The main key point here is that you want to be set up ready for an expensive venture that you're going to be going on to if you want to do station building. Now remember, your style of gameplay is completely different to mine. If you don't want to build stations, you don't have to. There are many options in this game that I constantly go through that you have. This is just giving you an overview of everything kind of you can do and some easier ways to get around things, and you know, some understanding. It's not finite, it's not perfectly done. There's not a way of making massive amounts of credits using this guide. This guide will teach you how to do things and let you do it yourself. I'm a strong believer that you should be given the information and do what you want with it, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. So hopefully the next couple of episodes are going to help you to build a fleet and build a station. So hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. Please let me know in the comment section what you think. If you've got any questions or anything whatsoever, if you need some assistance, then make sure you do comment. I don't mind going into little bits of details about things on either my comments, or if you do want more information, then make sure you do check out my Discord where you can contact me. A few people have contacted me on there and I've tried to help them out as best I can. But please make sure you do approach me on them sections. But until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Bye bye for now.